So, welcome to this daily sit practice. And the one I'd like to offer you is called the Golden Light of Compassion. And it's one of the practices that we will explore in the weekend of the compassionate imagery for resilience that's coming up both in Samye LIng and online. And yeah, let's see what it brings when we practice it together. So, as always, let's begin by just checking in with the body and finding a posture that feels as comfortable as can be. And maybe on the way there, you may want to find some movement, maybe a rolling of the shoulders or a little squeeze of the shoulders. Maybe a smoothing out of the forehead if some frowning has happened there during the day. Or a softening of the jaws, those big muscles, or anything else that would feel welcome and helpful at this time. And just taking our time to land here after whatever you've been doing before. And within the exact context that you find yourself, with sounds and the temperature and the body reality of this moment. As well as whatever is present in your heart and mind. And for this practice, we may be able to work with whatever arises and see how all of our experience can be the raw material for compassion. And so our intention may be around the cultivating of compassion and the intention of relating with care and warmth to both our own experience as well as letting our heart go out to others. And of course, with the curiosity of what actually happens in our practice. And so seeing what your own motivation is at this time. And then from here, let's invite the intention and motivation just to rest. And let's take our attention into the body now. And landing with the movements of breathing as they're happening already. And if it's comfortable for you, then letting your attention rest with the breath for a little while. We may notice that the breath might start to slow down a little, maybe not. And we could offer ourselves an extra support for our attention by equalizing the length of the in and the out breath, using perhaps counting to 3 or 4 or 5 on the in breath, and then to a similar count on the out breath. You could also use a little phrase that feels comfortable. Seeing how you may support yourself to come into this present moment. And of course, feel very free to improvise if the breath is not a comfortable place for you to let your attention rest at this time. Of course, our attention always on the lookout for where it's important to be with. It may have left the breath already and may have found its way to the past or the future. And we can just acknowledge this, nothing gone wrong. You may even have a sense of appreciation for the vigilance of the mind and that maybe butterfly nature. And yet inviting our attention to come back to the simplicity of our support, breathing, equalizing. And in this way, more and more beginning to land in this moment. And then gradually from here, letting go of the equalizing and widening our awareness so that the whole of the body is included. How is it to inhabit this precious body? What sensations are present? Seeing if we can simply meet with curiosity, whatever we find. The strong and the subtle sensations, the parts of the body where there's very little sensation. Nothing that we should be finding, just that curiosity. And then noticing what is here, no matter what it is. Let's include in our noticing the sensations of resting and all those points of contact between the body and the chair or the cushion, ground underneath us. This resting body as an invitation for the mind also to simply rest in this moment with no agenda and nothing to make happen. Nothing to strive for and nothing to avoid. Just that simple being in this moment that's already present. From this place of resting, let's imagine in front of us the wide open sky. And in that sky, there is a gate. And we could imagine this gate opening till it's wide open. And we're just sitting here or lying or standing, whatever posture you're in. And we can notice what's present in our experience. The thoughts, the feelings, the physical sensations. So moment to moment awareness of what's here. And then as the breath is released by the body, then all by itself, our experience can travel out with the breath, like it's flowing on the breath. And all by itself, it moves through this gate into the wide open sky in front of us. And there is something special about this gate, because as soon as our ordinary experience travels through it, it turns into the golden light of compassion. And it finds its way in the world wherever it's needed. And wherever it lands, it alleviates suffering, it brings lightness and ease, sense of well-being. And all of this happens completely by itself. So we're just present here with our ordinary thoughts, with our worries or our little looking forwards or bodily sensations, feelings, whatever it is. The stuff we may quite enjoy, the stuff that's more neutral or a bit boring, the stuff we're not so fond of, all of it passing through our experience, and along with the out breath, this travels through this gate in front of us and is transformed into this golden light of compassion. And again, completely effortlessly, this golden light will find its way. And there may be particular people or places you'd like to direct it towards. And also, you may have a sense of this golden light coming back to touch you too, bringing its sense of ease, its softening wellness, its alleviation of suffering, right back to your own being. And so we have choice of where we let our attention rest. Maybe just with our own experience, moment by moment, trusting all the rest will happen by itself. Maybe you want to have a sense of where those rays of that golden light of compassion are landing. Really imagining them transforming and bringing ease and wellness. Or maybe you want to be with that sense of receiving of that golden light yourself. Just imagining the basking in that. Feeling it soak into your being. Seeing what feels like the most helpful place for your attention to rest at this time. Trusting the whole process is happening by itself. And if we're getting distracted, that's fine too. That means the distraction will be what we breathe out and what will travel through that gate. And this too, along with everything else, is the raw material for this golden light of compassion. Where we can really imagine the confidence in this process happening, all of it being useful, and the goodness of this unfolding in its own way. Gradually, we can imagine that the golden light has been reaching more and more places in the world. That the transformation is more and more happening. This easing of suffering. this growing of peace and wellness. Till we could imagine the whole world sparkling with that golden light of compassion. And compassion flowing between us. Within us. Around us. And from here we could just imagine this gate in front of us beginning to dissolve. And we can just simply rest in the immediacy of our experience as it is. Coming towards the end of the practice, we could connect with that wish that any seeds that have been planted tonight, that they may grow in our being, and that our practice of mindfulness and compassion really helps our own spiraling towards freedom. And at the same time, that this may be shared with others, that the goodness of our practice touches those near and dear ones in our lives, as well as that it ripples out to all those others we share this beautiful planet with. And in this way, the goodness rippling out in ever widening circles.